Okay, can you come closer? This is how we mix up the horse food. Gideon's is the blue bucket. Sugar's is the purple bucket. Pay no attention to these lids. They don't matter anymore. That's kind of old information. This dark brown bag is the senior feed. Gideon gets 2 scoops of the senior feed, and it has the feed itself looks darker and kind of sticky. You get 1, 2 of those. And then the other white bag, Gideon gets 1 scoop of that in the blue bucket, and Sugar gets about 3/4 of a scoop. I just don't fill it all the way up. And back up that way so you can see these supplements. Not too far. Gideon gets 2 scoops of the probiotic powder. 2. And Sugar gets 1. Sugar's a girl, that's why she gets the purple bucket. And Gideon's a boy. So that's how you can keep them straight easily. The next supplement over, Gideon gets 1 scoop. And Sugar gets 1 scoop on the morning feeding only, but doesn't get another scoop later in the day. And Gideon gets 1 scoop of the joint supplement. And then we take it over here out of the garage to a hose and fill it up with water. You might want to stop. Here's how you turn on the hose to put water in the horse's bucket. Can you come over here maybe a little? Get down to where you can see the red handle is up. Okay, so the handle is up and it should always stay that way. And then tilt it down here, P. This lever down here controls the hose. So when I flip that on, which they're really hard to do, now that that's on, that turns on this hose right here. That turns on this guy. So then we can fill up the horse water with this. And tilt it back over here, P. When we're done, we just flip that back off. Put water in Gideon's, not in Sugar's. And this might take a minute. That's bad. Sitter, why don't you turn that back off and we'll just show them a final. Okay. That about. Now we'll let the horse food soak while we go feed all the backyard animals. So let's head to the backyard. Alright, we're going into the barn, or whatever you want to call it, shed. Can you see? Is it too dark in here?
It's good.
Okay. This is where almost all the animal foods are, and Bella gets fed first. For the dog food. So we get a whole yogurt scooper of Bella's dog food. And we go right back out here. And we feed Bella right here. Then we go back in the barn. And we get a yogurt scoop of scratch grains. And we take this out and feed all these little dainty chickens. Up here behind the barn, back here in this little dirty patch. Because wherever they eat every day will never grow grass. Alright, push stop. We're going to pack up some stuff to bring across the yard. We're going to get the chicken food, goat food, and bunny food all ready. For the chickens, you do 2 scoops of the laying pellets, and all the feed bags say it on the bag if you look. So they're kind of feed. So 1, 2 of the laying pellets, and then half a scoop of the scratch grains, dump it in, and then I just swirl those till they're kind of mixed. And then I come over here to the corner and get a whole scoop of the goat food. It's really sticky, so you kind of have to chase it around a little. And I set that in the chicken bucket just for carrying purposes. Then turn around this way, we get a big bucket for the rabbit food. Put hay in it. And then we come back to the feed bucket, if you want to back up, and get, I've got two things, not helpful, a pretty full scooper of the rabbit food. And I set it in the bucket with the hay. And then I carry both buckets with me and head out across the backyard. And I usually drop off the bunny food and then go on over to the goats. You can stop it for now though. Okay, I just leave the bunny food up here so I don't have to carry both. Go down here to the goats. Because they're so noisy, I like to get them fed. And you have to watch out for the hot wires when you feed the goats. And their heads are always in the way. If you just go ahead and dump a little bit of food, then they'll put their heads down. So I just dump a little first and try to spread it out. And then save the last little bit and put it in the other one because that's where little Buttercup likes to eat. So that the other goats don't knock her out of the way. Then I go up and do the chickens. And we come in the chicken pen. You with me, Ditter Bear? Come get the door screen. And I just try to get past their water for some reason, so they won't make so much of a mess around their water. And then I start sprinkling and walking a long way. That way they don't fight over the food and there's plenty for all. And as I come back out, I check for eggs and recollect my goat food feeder. And I just go ahead and get the eggs while I'm up here every morning. If there's a chicken sitting in there, then you can check it again later. And I just put them in my bucket, and then I bring them in the house later. Come up here, and I usually start on the right-hand side. And we have these little clips. Do you need to come closer? These are like the little locks. I'm going to show you how these work. Get to the side and show where the hole is, babe. The clips go inside the hole. I've had people try to do it different ways, but inside that hole keeps them from being able to be lifted up. So that's how those little locks work. And then you open the door. And I always pet every bunny every morning so they get a little bit of love. And if they have old food that looks cruddy, like his looks kind of wet, if it's not much, I just dump it out. And then I don't fill it up too full, especially if they didn't eat everything the day before. And I only give them a little handful. Let me show you. There's my hand. That's the hay. I give them a little handful of hay, and I make sure there's some hay inside this. It lifts up right here. Can you see that? That lifts up, and you can stuff a little hay in there. As long as they have some, it's plenty. So that's it for his food. We'll come back and do Dandy's food looks okay, so I'm just going to leave it. If her food stays the same for a couple days, then I would dump it out and start over. But if it looks fine, I just leave it for at least another day. And I'll give her a little handful of hay, but not too much or they just make a mess. And close her door back. Oh, and pet her. I forgot to pet her. You go right ahead, Ditter Bear. Gotta give her some love. Alright. Ouch. Sorry. Oh, look at these baby bunnies. Their bowl is empty. Because they're hungry. And there's the mommy. Alright, I do dump out the crud. Just so we can generally have a clean bowl every morning. And I fill theirs up nice and full. Because there's lots of bunnies in here eating. And this old hay that the little bunny is on, if it feels soggy, I'd get fresh hay. This doesn't feel too bad, so I think I'll leave it for another day. But if it's all trampled and soggy, then I replace it and rake it out and throw it up under the cage. And then we check all the water bottles. Let's see, I'll borrow this for a minute. This water bottle is pretty full. This water bottle is empty. If they have less than 2 inches of water in them, I go ahead and refill them. And we carry them right over there on the deck and use the hose that's on the back deck to fill them up and put them back. And then we come along and lock back each bunny cage when we're done by putting these in there. All 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a bunny. Alright, filled up the water bottles, and I'm putting bunions back on. Dandelions is good. The mommy bunny's water bottle is good. And the baby water bottle goes down all the way low so that the little babies can reach it. It like sits on the board. And you just clip them on there. So that's the baby water bottle. And then we go back and make sure everything is locked, babe. We go back and make sure all the cages are locked. Because if these cages are not locked, if they're left to where they could come open in any way, Bella will eat the baby bunnies. So it's very important that these get locked every day, or we won't have baby bunnies. Okay, back to the barn. I just set the bunny bucket. Can you hear me? Yep. I set the bunny bucket back in the big huge bunny hay bin. Stack those guys back, and then we get a scoop of dog food for Sasha. And bring it with us to the front yard. So we're headed to the front yard next. I take Sasha's food and set it inside Sugar's bucket just so I only have 2 things to carry. And then you come over here to the hose again. Can you shine on this, please, sweetie? If I'm talking about something, point it where I'm talking. You turn this little timer, twist it upward to where it's at about 15 minutes. And that'll turn the horse water on. We head down into the front yard. Ditter, will you close that gate when you come through? Yep. And then we stop off over here under the front porch to feed Sasha. So I'm just going to leave the horse buckets right here and go over here to feed Sasha. And she carries her red bucket around a lot, so sometimes you just have to get it out of the yard, bring it back under here. I hook it right here on this board, and then dump in her food. And say, come eat your food, Sasha. Come eat your food. Okay, Ditter Bear, this way.
Go on, Sasha.